wanted to introduce my fellow yogis and my helpers that are here with us today.
I'm Jason Moncrief. I'm music at the Crescent Center.
I'm Daryl Long. I'm fitness here at Lyle Avenue.
Awesome. So they're going to be following along. We're actually going to start moving into yoga poses today. So like we talked about in the last video, breathing is really the foundation of our yoga poses. I want you to focus on deep, long inhales and then really strong exhales, breathing in and out of the nose. If that's not okay for you today because you have a stuffy nose, breathing in and out of the mouth will be fine. We're going to go ahead and get started, but before we do, let's take a big breath together. So inhale, reach your arms out and up, look up at your thumbs. And as you exhale, bring your hands down in front of you. Start to walk your palms forward. We're going to set up for what's called tabletop position. So if you were looking at us from the side, you would see that our backs have formed like a flat surface, just like a table. Hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, and check that your knees are right underneath the hips. Hands are about the distance apart that your shoulders are. Knees are about the distance apart that your hips are. All right, take a breath in and take a breath out. Setting up child's pose, spin your big toes together. You might walk your feet or your knees out a little bit further if you want. And then slide your hips all the way down towards your heels, letting your belly fall. They rest on the legs or in between them. Then now drop your forehead all the way to the floor too. Take a breath in and a breath out. Consider walking fingertips forward, still relaxing the shoulders, sinking your hips heavy to your heels on each breath out. Staying here for 5 more rounds of breath. This pose helps with sleep, and it's a really nice way just to turn inward, to kind of tune out from all the craziness, to focus on quiet and on the breath. And to come out of child's pose, slide your hands beside your knees, pressing your fingers into the floor, and then slowly roll yourself up, coming back to a seat. While we're here in the seat, let's do some shoulder rolls. So as you breathe in, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. As you exhale, roll them back and down, just relaxing as much as you can. Bring your palms forward again for that tabletop. So you've been here before, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, really long and strong back. From here, we'll move into downward facing dog, which is another really important pose in yoga. If I were facing sideways, it would look like an upside down V or a mountaintop. So slide your toes again underneath you, curl them under, hug your belly in, start to press down into the toes so that you can stretch your legs long, reaching your hips up and back to the sky. Look between your knees or between the tops of your legs, and then spread your fingers wide. Really nice, everybody. Especially root down into your thumb and pointer finger. A little softness in the knees, little bend in the elbows, and drop your head. Let it be heavy, looking side to side if there's any stress along the neck. We'll stay for 5 rounds of breaths, just getting into the shape. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out. Knowing you can take a break at any point by lowering onto your knees for a bit of rest. 2 more rounds of breath. And as you breathe in, lift up high onto your tippy toes, stretch the arches of your feet out, and begin to drop your knees back down to the floor. I'm choking on my spit, hips to heels. This next shape that we're going to learn, we're actually going to move to it from downward facing dog. So that will give you another chance to practice the upside down V shape with your body. So let's start by going there first. Sliding your hands forward, curling toes, lifting hips. Your hips are the highest point of your body. Take a breath in and take a breath out. As you breathe in, rise up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, look forward slightly in between your thumbs, and as slow as you can, tiptoe all the way to the top. Once your feet land at the front of where you are, you want the feet to be 2 fists width distance apart. So make 2 fists, put them together, and put them on the insides of your feet. I suggest that you bend your knees, letting your belly rest over top of the legs. Your head is going to drop heavy here too. You can bend your knees more, or if you need more of a stretch, you can actually start to straighten them out. Bend at your elbows, reach for opposites here. See if you can hug your chin up towards your chest, relaxing the neck. Take a breath in and a breath out. So here is your ragdoll pose. Just notice where this affects your body. If the stretch is in your low back or along the backs of your legs. You could stay still here. You could also slide side to side, adding in that gentle sway. And again, you could shake the head no or shakiness. Release the hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. One foot back and then the other. Knees drop and hips drop back to your heels. Next up is called Crescent Moon. So we're gonna start by standing in a really tall shape. Your big toes can be together, or if it just feels a little bit comfortable on your hips, you can slide your feet out, again to that 2 fist width distance apart. So like 4 to 6 inches between your big toes. From here, inhale, open your arms out to the side and then up to the sky. As you exhale, drop your right hand to the outside of the right leg as you lean toward the right as well. So creating that C-shaped curve of the spine. Hopefully you feel a nice long stretch along the left side. Breathe in, keep reaching over to the right wall. And as you breathe out, that's your chance to dive a little bit deeper. Can you stay here and breathe for one more inhale? One more exhale. Use your side body strength, breathe and peel yourself up. And breathe out, drop over to the other side. Left hand finds your leg, right arm reaches over to the side. You can look up here if that feels comfortable in the neck. A couple rounds of breath. Last one. Go to your deepest point. And breathe in, lift it up. Breathe out, drop your hands down. The next pose is called tree pose. So we're gonna make a shape that looks similar to that. We're gonna balance on one foot. And so when we think of balancing poses, we really wanna root down through our standing foot. And if you think of a tree, trees root down and they root out. So I'm gonna say a lot to press into the 4 corners of your standing foot, which sounds kind of weird, so I'm gonna explain what that is. So you're gonna press into the corner by your big toe, the corner by your pinky toe, and then the inside and outside of your heel. Starting with our hands at our hips. Press down into the right foot. So finding all those 4 corners, spread your toes and press them down. Then bend your left knee, rolling up onto the left toes. Use the strength of your leg to open your knees sideways. Here's a great option to work. So this way, you just support yourself a little bit with your left toes, like a kickstand on a bicycle. To add on for more of a balanced challenge, slide your foot. It can go up to the inside of your calf, or it can go all the way up to the inside of your thigh. Whatever works for you today. I'm gonna hang out down here. Find one spot on the floor that's in front of you that isn't moving. You're gonna kind of stare at that, right? Staring at that will help you focus and will actually help your balance. Lots of options for the hands. They can stay at your hips. They can move up in front of your heart, elbows leaning out to the side. Or you can open up, lifting your arms like branches. Take a breath in and take a breath out. So sometimes there's some wind, sometimes there's uncertainty, but when we root down to rise up, it helps us stand a little bit stronger. So take a breath. And as you breathe out, catch hands to hips, slide your knee forward, the foot comes down. You shake it out between the sides, and then we'll press into the left foot, moving through the same steps. Left foot grounds, your right heel pops up. Knee opens sideways. Again, you can stay down here for the kickstand, roll the foot up here or to the inner thigh. Just try to avoid pressing on your knee really hard. Find your focal point. In yoga, we call this your drishti. Then hands will move where you choose, for branches or at your heart or hips. And try and press your right foot into the left leg as if it was a side branch of the tree. And even squeezing the glutes here a little bit, tensing up through the core, trying to relax your shoulders as much as possible. Catch another breath in and a breath out. One more. Hands down, knee forward, bring your feet together. Good job. I encourage you all to practice those poses individually until you feel a little bit more comfortable with them. We were talking about this earlier, but I just wanted to remind you that these poses are really hard at first. So if you're shaken and you're wobbling in downward facing dog, that's okay. Try not to be too hard on yourself. You can take breaks, and then remember that the important part to stay calm is your breath. Right, so we're gonna put all of those poses together into a flow. And we would love for you guys to participate by filming you doing this yoga flow and tagging Decompress with DFYF. You guys ready? Okay, we're gonna get started in our seat, just connecting to the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, make your way forward into a tabletop. Knees step apart so that they're about hips width distance away from each other. Slide your big toes together. Lower your hips down towards your heels. Drop the chest, the heart, the forehead. Breathe in and breathe out. One breath to walk your fingertips forward. Another breath out to sink into the hips. Now start to press into your palms. As you breathe in, rise back up into your tabletop. Next is downward facing dog. So curl your toes. Begin to stretch the legs out, stretching your hips up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Spread your fingers wide. Breathe in. Let your heels drop. Breathe out. Inhale, lift the tippy toes. Look forward. Again, take that slow walk up, really bending your knees. So in yoga, you never have to straighten your legs in a stretch. You can always keep them bent. And we're gonna hang heavy, stepping the feet apart, again, so that you can slide your fists in between them. Belly hangs on the thighs. The top of your head reaches toward the floor. So imagine any worry or concerns just melting away. And then adding on for ragdoll, if you'd like to, you can always stay here. Bend at the elbows, take hold. And this time, gently try pulling your elbows apart in opposite directions. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let your hands fall to the floor. We're gonna take a zombie roll all the way up to standing. Tuck your chin into your chest. And start with your low back. You're gonna peel up. Your head, your shoulders, everything stays heavy for another second or so. And then they roll down and back. This is called mountain pose. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over for your crescent. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, back through center, connect the palms. And exhale, lead to the left, scrape the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, come back through the middle. And exhale, feel your hands slice through the air as they come down. Tree pose, starting by balancing on our right foot. Lift the left heel, roll your knee out to the side. Toes could stay down, foot could come up, or connect to the inside of your thigh above your knee. Just 2 rounds of breath here. And then slide your knee forward, step it down. Switching sides, you can shake out between them. Press down into the left foot. Push the right knee forward, then to the side. Find that little nest that works best in your body. And try and reach that right knee back in space, so that will activate your glutes. Take a breath in, and a breath out, finding that drishti. Breath in, and breath out. Roll the knee forward, step it down, release. You did a great job, everybody.